Hello everyone, it is Epictastic Joshua again. As you're all aware, we are currently under two different strikes. We are under the Writers Guild of America's strike, the WGA, and the Screen Actors Guild after strike, which is the SAG strike. As a result of this, some movies has been put on hold to this. Some movies are changing release dates, and some movies haven't even been able to start filming or go further with this because writers and actors are not being paid equally, causing these movies, especially smaller movies or larger budget movies, to get the runaround. As a result of this, any video that you're seeing from me going forward, there will be this disclaimer that you see before the actual video of what I'm going to be talking about is going to be presented. And the reason why I want to put this little disclaimer here is because without the labor of writers and actors who are currently on strike, who puts hundreds and thousands of hours into making their product, no matter how good, how bad, or how terrible it could be, we would not have them. Because without writers, you would not have the TV shows or the movies that you would currently be watching from the past and present. And without these actors, they wouldn't be able to perform most of the actions written in those scripts. So as a result of this, I've decided to put this disclaimer here until further notice, until after the strike is over. You can find out more about these two ongoing strikes online by going to WGAafter2023.org or http://sagafterstrike.org for more info. If you would like to help and donate money, go to entertainmentcommunity.org. That way, even if you have as little as $1, one donation or more could help a lot of people who are fighting tirelessly to get equal pay. So let's join the fight, help these writers and actors in these times of need, and let's get them back to work. And that way we can get some more movies and TV shows of quality, no matter how it turns out. I'm Joshua Drake. Thank you for listening. Okay, that's it. I have nothing else to say except for the 100th time, stop doing these movies. What's up everyone, it's Epictastic Joshua here. I'll talk movies, TV, music, and anime, giving you guys my review, unfortunately, and rants on the new Children of the Corn. Continuing 2023 catch up while doing a lot of other review stuff. But let me just go ahead and say this right now. This is not going to be a happy review.
Curses!
I need to get some aggression off my chest here. This is directed by Wimmer, based off the short story of the same name by Stephen King. Who gives a crap? Who gives a fuck? Blah, 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 blah. Plot of this doggone new Children of the Corn movie is that, what do you think the plot is? Obviously, it's the same thing we've seen multiple times before. Not a whole lot new, except the fact that this wants to tell the origin about a psychopathic 12-year-old girl in a small town, Nebraska. And what happens is we not only see the origins of how these kids start acting evil, but we also see the origins of he who walks behind the roads and all this other stuff. It's basically the leading up to and the massacre of the adults in the small town of the children after the adults' irresponsibility ruins the crop and children's future. Should be interesting, right? I know. I'll be honest, I was not originally going to watch this movie. I was not. But looking at my 2023 movies I've seen, and also looking at my worst movies of 2023, I had to get a little bit more of some bad movies on that list to do a full top 10 at the end of the year. And let me just fucking tell you, this is on it. This is so far my least favorite movie of 2023.
So that's just not fair!
Seriously, as I said in the cold opening, these movies are just not good anymore. These movies have stopped being good since maybe the original and some of the sequels and the 2009 remake. This series, for something as interesting, should not have as many bad movies as it is, and some of it sucks for the most parts. What all is wrong with this movie? First off, the directing in this movie. What directing? The directing in this movie is incompetently made. It feels like they just got on the set and just started directing stuff as they went along, as they had no script and nothing to latch onto. The script in this movie and the directing, the direction and writing, this movie takes itself way too fucking seriously. There's not a sense of fun, there's not a sense of campiness to it, there's not a sense of entertaining, hilarious quality to it. And say whatever you want about some of the other Children of the Corn movies, at least they had some kind of a fun presence to them. Whereas this movie, they have none of that. And this movie clearly is just the worst thing to look, especially with some of the directing, because the directing in this movie is so bland and so lazy. You could easily forget what's going on here for the pacing, because every time something happens in terms of the personal problems and some of the drama, I didn't give a shit. I was sitting here just waiting on the next thing to go on. I was like, this movie is boring the hell out of me. Not only that, I think the effects in this movie look abysmal.
Red flag!
The effects in this movie are terrible. And I know this is a cheap, small budget, but you could at least put a little bit more effort into the effects. I know that they have the best budget. I know I should be giving credit to where credit is due and respect that they tried. But when you have effects in this movie that looks like a bunch of early PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 graphics, is rough. And let me just say, what the fuck was up with that CGI creature?
I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'm not doing it anymore.
At the end of this movie, it's supposed to be he who was behind the rose or some shit. Who gives a care? You didn't watch the movie anyway. I did it. That was horrible in this. That was horrible. A lot of the acting in this movie is especially terrible. Especially the main guy, Kevin Mully. He gets emotional every 5 freaking minutes. And it is annoying. It is obnoxious. And this also wastes a lot of talent here. Like, you have Cece Stringer, who, she was in the Mortal Kombat movie. I liked her. But here she is completely wasted in this movie here. The story is non-consistent. It's dull, it's boring, and it's lifeless in this. Aside from a couple of moments where it kind of starts out promising, this movie has a very incomprehensible story that really just was boring. It was putting me to sleep watching this. Not to mention some of the cinematography in this movie looks absolutely abysmal and looks horrible. It looks like something you would see in the $5 bin DVD, and something in the fucking $5 bin at Walmart's. And that's how rough it is. That's how shit the effects is and the cinematography is. It looks horrendously awful and not in a good way. Not in a good way. And my fucking God, let me just say it right now, I really got pretty exhausted watching this bullshit. Because there was a point in this movie where I feel like the movie was about to go over. And this movie's only 90 fucking minutes, man. This movie is only 90 minutes. And this was released in 2020, but didn't get released till 2023. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha!
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Not only that, man. Jesus. I don't know how you have Digital Domain doing the effects of this and they look rough as hell. Digital Domain's done better. This is not their best work. So clearly they must have had a bad day at the office here. And not only that, you can definitely tell that there's not a lot of people in this town. Obviously because they were making this movie in the beginning of the pandemic and finished in June. But it doesn't really matter there. Also, the score in this movie is completely fucking horrible. The score in this movie is very lame, very boring, and this is coming from me. I'm a big advocate of film music. No matter how good a movie is, how bad a movie is, how in between I am, I can always give credit to the musical score. It is generic, and it feels like you find something in the royalty-free website section. That's how bad this is. That's how abysmal this looks. And that's how generic the music is here. If I have to give this movie something, if I was to try and be positive for something, I could at least say there are 3 performances in this movie I thought were good. Sissy Stringer, beautiful. I wish she had something else better than this. Hope we get to see her more stuff. For what little she's able to do in this, I think she's fine. Kate Moyer does fine as a convincing villain, 12-year-old girl. I think she does fine in the acting department. I can't shit on her because she's just a child, and I think it's the writing and directing more than her. And Elena Camperis, God bless her. Those 3, they do try to do decent here for what little they have in this. The ending is kind of cool somewhat. Maybe here. The ending here is kind of cool. Other than that, that's not enough to save this movie from being one of the worst movies of the year. Because if I don't give a shit about the characters, if I don't give a shit about the story, if I can't get something memorable in a movie like this, you not only fail as a horror movie, but you also fail as a film itself. In the end, guys, this movie does not deserve a single dollar. It does not deserve a single purchase on DVD or Blu-ray. It does not deserve a watch on AMC Plus or the Roku channel. If you see this on streaming services or something in Walmart or something, just pass on it. Just stay away. Because this is horrible, this is awful, and this is one of the worst movies I've seen this year. And y'all know me, even with bad movies, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I just couldn't with this. This movie is horrible. Please do not make another Children of the Corn movie. This movie gets the worst of the worst. Get the fuck out of my face. Children of the Corn 2023. I'll stick with some of the original films because at least those are at least campy and at least more competently made. This is horrible. This is horrible. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. I will have my channel here, so you would like to see anything here. Click the channel icon, subscribe for more. I will also leave a video and maybe a playlist here, so in case you want to see what I'm about. As always, stay Epictasticness, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.